In the Underworld, prior to the tumultuous battle between the malevolent chthonic forces and the protectors of the magic dropper along with their unexpected allies, the extravagant King Hades, whose ambitious plans had been orchestrated by Hecate's cunning mind, had attempted to seek support among the evolved souls of the illustrious figures who inhabited the Elysian fields. Many had refused indifferently, but others were outraged by Hades' presumption to change divine laws, much less to betray Breezy, the daughter of the wind. As soon as Zeus and his children were kidnapped, Hades sent his terrifying assistants to neutralize the dissenters in the tranquil Elysian fields, led by the members of the first Roman triumvirate, Julius Caesar, Gnaeus Pompey Magnus, and Marcus Licinius Crassus, who were supported by other Roman military and political figures such as Gaius, Marius, Sulla, Cinna, the young Marcellus, and the orators Cicero and Catiline. These were transferred and imprisoned in Tartarus, joining the kidnapped gods of Olympus, with the chthonic kings and the sinister Hecate involved in the struggle for possession of the coveted magic dropper. Her son Musaeus and the somber Thanatos were left in charge of the world of the dead. Taking advantage of the lack of leadership, Hermes, psychopomp and messenger of the gods, with license to enter and leave the world of the dead and a secret ally of Breezy, who until now had played a secondary role in the conflict, ventured into the Elysian fields and convinced his grandfather, the retired King Cronus, to allow him to act in pursuit of the liberation of the king of the gods. The cunning Hermes knew that the Vestal Virgin Rhea Silvia, mother of Romulus and Remus, Qin Shi Huang, the first Chinese emperor, Ashoka, the greatest king of India, Pythagoras of Samos, Cyrus of Persia, Confucius, Gautama Buddha, and Alexander the Great, were not in the Elysian fields since they had received apotheosis for their extraordinary deeds. So he began recruiting Pericles, some of the Diadochi, Alexander's main generals, and other heroes from different cultures, who, when word spread, joined the cause to free the captive Roman heroes. Hermes also sent for the high priestesses of the Vestal Virgins. When the Vestals learned what it was about, they transformed themselves into courtesans and went to Tartarus to try to seduce the terrible guardians. Following them was Hermes, brandishing his powerful caduceus in his left hand, followed by the specter of Pericles and other prominent Greek strategists, among whom were Alcibiades, Themistocles, and Eurybiades, along with the Diadochi and some prominent kings of the Ptolemaic dynasty. There were also philosophers and poets from various cultures, as well as other illustrious figures from the last 500 years. What an honorable sight to see all those evolved souls fighting for a common cause. As soon as the Vestal Virgins entertained the fearsome guardians of Tartarus, Hermes and his motley crew freed the Roman heroes and, together, the king of the gods and his children. In the besieged Thracian palace, Breezy and her allies maintained a tight defense, but it was gradually weakening, just as Breezy's health was weakening, now accompanied by her devoted mother, who constantly sprinkled her with the magic dust. Meanwhile, on the battlefield, Persephone unleashed powerful bolts of energy, causing lightning and thunder, but the bolts directed at the dome of the inner garden exploded upon contact with the luminous energy shield that protected the, until now, impregnable palace of Thrace. Despite the invaluable protection of the valiant Ents, many giants and demons had managed to scale the steep mountain to the palace's broad terraces, beginning hand-to-hand combat with the fierce protectors of the magic dropper. As evening fell, Breezy was informed of the arrival of Zeus, the king of the gods, with reinforcements from Olympus, and many of the spirits that inhabited the Elysian fields. However, this late intervention did not change the balance of power, as the visionary Hecate, with her effective sorcery, had anticipated the contingency and had a group of monsters and demons waiting for them. As soon as the reinforcements appeared, they were surrounded, and the fighting continued. For hours they fought bravely, awaiting the arrival of the Almighty, until a gaunt Breezy, barely able to stand, received the valiant Titan Prometheus, general commander of the defense of the Palace of Thrace, who told her that the inner garden of the apple trees and the lives of the animals, including the newborn wonderful dropperflies, were in danger. The time had come to use the true powers that the Almighty had entrusted to her when he made her the bearer of the magic dropper, Breezy thought. She didn't wait any longer and, assisted by Chloris and Gaia, the Great Mother Earth, and followed by Cyprus, once again transformed from a tigress into a sweet little cat, they descended the circular stone staircase to the peaceful sacred cave. After performing the ancient daily ritual entrusted to her, Breezy, though with some difficulty, was able to transform herself into a breeze and entered the magic dropper. For a few seconds, those present held their breath, and soon a feeling of purity permeated the air as the gust of wind emerged from within the special sacred object, but now with an intangible, yet incredibly powerful force. Chloris and the goddess Gaia bowed their heads in respect, while the cat Cyprus and the beetle Kepri jumped excitedly, trying to reach it. Breezy, transformed into the luminous energetic force, circled the sacred cave and exited through the serpentine tunnel, illuminating the magnificent decorations that adorned the narrow walls. Upon reaching the entrance of the grotto, bravely defended by the arrows of Apollo, Artemis, Hephaestus, and Dionysus, and making contact with the first impious spirits and souls, they instantly burst into flames and were reduced to ashes. The Olympian gods stationed on the steep mountainside were astonished and filled with admiration, as they were able to take a short rest while the dazzling energetic force swept across the entrance of the grotto under the dense darkness of the night. The powerful energy into which Breezy had transformed swirled around the remote palace of Thrace, located in the heart of the Rhodope Mountains, striking terror into the enemy troops and clearing the ground somewhat by incinerating every evil entity in its path. From a distance, Breezy could observe the destruction caused by the attackers, along with the precarious state of the glass dome, which still maintained its deteriorated energy shield. This transformation of Breezy completely changed the balance of power, but the gods of the Underworld, though fearful, continued to urge the attack. It was too late for regrets. Hecate, truly surprised that Breezy had received so much power from the Almighty, made her last attempt, exhausting her most secret powers, but already uncertain of achieving her objective. The presence of the Almighty came to put an end to the battle. The monsters, vermin, and ghosts shrieked in terror, and many were carbonized upon rapid contact with the immensely powerful energy force. The few survivors were swallowed by the earth, including the disillusioned Hades and the frightened Persephone, who abandoned the Aegis and the lightning bolt in her flight, which the king of the gods later recovered. The great loser, the all-powerful Hecate, still defiant and cursing, disappeared. After the destruction of the evil hordes, the force of the Almighty absorbed the energy force into which Breezy had transformed, and they entered the grotto heading towards the sacred cave. All the deities set foot on the ground and uncovered their heads as a sign of respect, as did the battered Ents. On Olympus, the power that Breezy, the daughter of the wind, had received from the Almighty, when he chose her from among all the deities to be the bearer of the magic dropper, and the girl's lack of ambition in never having abused that power, was the subject of much discussion among the deities. Everyone was impressed by her great humility. By a general vote of the Council of the Olympian Gods, the rulers of the Underworld, among other punishments, were forbidden from seeing the light of the sun. Hecate, the mastermind who orchestrated the attack, was sentenced to 2,000 years and confined to the remote Tartarus, but she was so powerful that even from there she continued to be respected and wielded influence as she pleased. For everyone else, life among gods and mortals continued without any apparent changes.